Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for November 8th through the 14th of 2020. Before we get started, I hope you enjoy the fire video as an alternative to the usual sunsets that I do. I thought it was particularly apropos for the energies coming up this week. And if you are a super fiery person, which God has seen fit to send me many, I have a couple of people with 8 or 9 planets in Aries, 8 or 9 in Leo, 8 or 9 in Sag. I get the real fiery babies coming to me. Then at the end of one of those Mars videos, I think it's the 34-minute one, has a father-son masculine energy teaching him fire dancing, and it's really powerful and so wonderful to wrap up that video, and a precious example of father-son love. So enjoy. Now let's dive in. So this week is packed with very important activations and alignments. I'm recording it on the 5th because I just found out that there might be a hurricane coming toward Florida. I am trusting all is well, but if I lose the internet connection, I don't want another week of forecasts to be late again. So we're going for posting early this time, and I hope that's okay with all of you. This week I'm including a couple of extra links to bonus videos and audios, especially about Mars retrograde, because it's going direct this week. But also we have the last hit between Jupiter and Pluto, which is one of those rare special alignments that we've been talking about all year. And this one hit in April, June, and now November 12th. So there's an extra bonus video and post for that as well. At the end of the week, Sun in Scorpio is linking up with Pluto first, then Jupiter, and then Saturn is next week. Now, this is an opportunity to get yourself in alignment in a very special way, because by the end of the year, those big boys move on and we move on to different annual work with the Sun. But next week, Venus is going to square off with that crew. So it's like we have to adapt and adjust as individuals, because we're going to have to make some new choices in our relationships and finances going forward. We're realizing what is not going to work anymore. And at the same time, I can testify that we're finding amazing creative solutions to long-standing problems that are shortcutting us to our next level in so many ways. And I've talked about this in many other forecasts as well, that we are in this zone where if you're paying attention and you're using the energy or directing the energy on your own behalf consciously and consciously co-creating, it is a shortcut. We're in a wormhole where we're going to jump dimensions and end up in a whole new world, essentially. And so we don't want any excess baggage dragging us down or slowing us down or holding us back. And this week is going to give us lots to work with energetically. Opportunities, absolutely. Forward movement, at least we'll get some signs of hopefulness of forward movement. Initiations, blessings, and we start the week with an integration midpoint. So Venus opposite Mars is part of Venus's cycle, which means she started something with Mars. There was an initiation where they were together. I remember this because they got together in Virgo during August, September of 2019. So what can you remember about last year and what got initiated in terms of your internal masculine and feminine going to a new level, agreeing to new terms? But what it was, I remember this. Venus conjunct Sun was August. That was the reclamation kicking off in Leo. It was our Scorpio cycle, 2018, that we did our reclamation in 2019 when the Venus got with Sun. That kicked off a whole dynamic that led to, that was August 14th and August 24th. This is back in 2019, Venus conjunct Mars for Virgo. So we got to do this again, this kind of internal zone of Leo, connecting with our heart and figuring out what we wanted to express in the world again. And then she linked up with Mars and Virgo so that we could anchor it into our routine and make it natural for ourselves going forward. And it was a powerful alignment to co-create with at the time. And now here we are at the midpoint, and Mars is backwards. So that's a powerful and about to go forward. So it's totally standing still. So This is a checkpoint, and you'll hear me talk about the midpoint in any cycle is the best course correcting time, but also that you're 180 degrees from your starting point. So think about the complete shift we've been through since August 2019 to November 2020. That's a year and change. That's a lot, because August, September of 2019, weren't we all just clocking along like we thought this is fall harvest and we're doing our thing and preparing for 2020, which we know is going to be special, but we didn't know how special. So how were you feeling last fall compared to this fall? Let's just look at it that way. This energy where we're at now is bringing a balance and integration of your inner sacred masculine and feminine energies. Your inner sacred masculine is supposed to negotiate on your behalf, get your ideas in the world, and maintain good boundaries, while your inner sacred feminine is a guiding force that creates space to contain and nurture life, as well as your creative babies. Because it is an opposition, it's time to check in with your soul self to make sure you're not swinging between extremes or trying to force issues rather than being open and receptive and going with the flow. Of course, Venus and Mars bring relationships into the light, forcing issues of balance and integration within your relationships as well. Remember, as you change, others must change or go away. As you integrate more balance within you, maintaining balance with others becomes almost effortless. Also, if sexuality is an aspect of your relationship, then that too will undergo a balancing/rebalancing of sorts with this particular activation. Rather than project onto another, ask yourself some questions regarding your true desires and your true values. What is closest to your heart and fires you up from within with no props, people, or payments necessary? We have to be able to light things up from within on our own. It's nice to have a community or friends or family or people around us that inspire us and uplift us, but you can't rely on that. That's a very false sense of security, and Mars is reviewing who you are and what you want and asking you to claim that at a whole new level and claim a new way of expressing your masculine, which operates through both males and females, and it's something we all have to work to balance, those parts of ourselves that give and receive, that are active and passive. They're connected, they work together, and there's a way to create and maintain balance. So that was November 9th, which is Monday. November 10th, Sun trine Neptune retrograde. This energy triggers your idealistic, altruistic inclinations, but remember that help has to be invited. But if you have the energy to share and to spare, then dedicate yourself to something greater than you. Choose a cause to support or help those less fortunate for the sheer pleasure of giving. If your energy is low at this time, it's better directed inward. If you can, take some extra time in intentional solitude, praying, meditating, and connecting to spirit this week. You will be rewarded with the deep revelations and mystical discoveries within you. It's a great time to do divinations, ritual or ceremony if you're into that. Your intuition is heightened also, so pay attention to any messages that come through you or to you. Try to use this energy to reflect on where you are and dream a little about where you want to be, mentally, spiritually, and physically in 6 months to a year from now. Okay, I got to pause. First of all, the next day, 11/11, Shanta, Gabriel, and I are going to do our traditional event. We always get together to walk through this portal together. We often do it at 11:11 in the morning, together, just the two of us. But as a community, we blend her circle and my circle together and invite the world to share it with us, so you are invited. So we're going to have that live event on Wednesday, the 11th. Then the 12th, we have the Jupiter conjunct Pluto activation for the third and final time to initiate a brand new truth, story, and belief system for one and all, for yourself, for the social level, for the collective level. It's huge. It's part of this year's transformative process that we have all endured together. This is what we call a liberating ordeal to survive 2020. It's going to liberate us on the other side, but it has been by no means easy or simple. So, but this is a big one. This is adding mojo to any magic ceremony or ritual that we do, and certainly to our prayers, because when we get together, we are offering our prayers to the world. That's the 12th when we have the Jupiter-Pluto alignment, right? But the 13th, which is a Friday the 13th, which is actually Venus's day, the goddess's day, the feminine day to honor love, beauty, harmony. And if you're lucky, some say you're supposed to stay in bed and make love all day long, paying homage to the goddess. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is we can love the earth and love ourselves a little more and use that energy to infuse Mars going direct, taking our new identity, our new purpose, our new passion for life and vitality and wanting to fight on the side of life. That's where we're at, people, is making our choices speak for us. We don't have to shout it from the rooftops. We can simply make new decisions. And we've been in a review process and a cooking process that has been working us. And I think I'm going to share a poem about that too. I'll save that for the end. If anybody knows it, it's a Rumi poem, The Chickpea. But it's really perfect for this week, y'all, so I'll read it at the end. Mars goes direct on the 13th, and we have those sun alignments on Saturday the 14th. As you're receiving this, hopefully Thursday, Friday, Saturday, early before the weekend, Friday is actually our cross-quarter gate of power. And let's just say that's kicking it all off before we even get to all these extra amazing things. And then the bookend is the 15th super new moon in Scorpio, when we conceive our new reality for the next 6 months to a year as well. Also reconnect with our souls and our own unique power to create our lives made by hand, by our choices, by our intentions, stripped of the conditioning and the chaos of the outer world. For right now, we are all inward working with our soul selves to create alignment so that we can direct these energetics in a better way, right? I didn't mean to off-road, but I just had to kind of give you the bullets before we go deep into each one. Just know that there's energy this week for your intentional solitude to just help you with your own prayer work. But there's also community events, because we have the 11/11 event with Shanta, and then 11/12 on Thursday I have my Venus Circle, which is the heart chakra in Libra, releasing any blockages to the heart or to your own natural innate balance and conscious equal partnership with all life. We're clearing all the blockages to that this month, and that's our release work. We had so much support, kind of 8 ways to Sunday. Like I said, this week is packed with it. So the 12th brings that Jupiter-Pluto alignment. The highest possible expression of this energy is channeling your very passionate, intense energy into your highest vision, highest ideal, and deepest personal truth, so you can receive the fruits of such hard labor. There is power behind the current expansion, and you are in a unique position to create your greatest vision or your deepest fear. And as we know, people are manifesting both. Both these planets force you to improve yourself, improve your life, your environment, and usually the way they do this is stripping you of misconceptions and excess baggage along the way. This is a 13-year cycle, so you can think, how did your life completely shift 13 years ago? That would be 2007. This is your time to choose to co-create, to cultivate, and commit to expressing your infinite potential. Dig deep. There is more to you than you give yourself credit for being. This is your chance to completely redefine your truth and purpose. The worst possible expression of this energy is to become obsessed by a belief, try to force others to your way of thinking, blow things way out of proportion, magnify the darkness, and prolong your trip through the underworld. That's the worst way to go. Jupiter insists we learn from such excavations of the soul. Your deepest truth is surfacing at this time. Is it based in fear or faith? Under pressure, whatever is inside comes out. It's time to decide if you are going to believe in positive outcomes and the ability to turn your deepest wounds into your most trusted, earned wisdom. So this is one that I went deeper into along with the others that have affected our whole year. So there's a link here to the 2020 special activations or special alignments. There's an audio, video, or a blog post so you can read, listen, or watch. Also on the 12th, like I said, Venus Circle, heart chakra release work that we're doing in the Libra sector of your world. So wherever that is for you is where the release work this month is all about. And then Friday the 13th, Mars direct in Aries. When Mars retrogrades, It is time to do the inner self work, to redefine what you really want and how you express the power and passion of Mars through your own individual choices, which is how you go about getting what you want in life. It spends June 2020 to January 2021 in Aries. So you may feel the retrograde in that whatever direction you were heading in over the last 2 years may now be slowed or even reversed, temporarily at least. Things that were easy may seem challenging, and things that used to be challenging may now become easier or simplified. Remember, all delays and detours are not necessarily bad. Pay attention to the aspects of your own approach to acquiring what you desire, as well as the motivations behind those desires. Always make the self-inquiry. Ask yourself what you want and why you want it. The reboot, revision, recalibration of Mars retrograde is your desire nature doing its regular 2-year maintenance process. Your heart's desires change and evolve over time. So this is your opportunity to check in and tweak things accordingly. So that was for the retrograde. Now that it's going direct, it's a good time to review the last couple of months, September to November of 2020, as well as the last couple of years, 2018 to 2020. What do you no longer want to be responsible for? What no longer supports the foundation you are cultivating in the here and now? How have things organically shifted in your desires, choices, and actions? You may have been blocked or delayed from forward movement, but now the energy will resume forward motion and start stimulating the rest of your chart, giving you a chance to integrate whatever Mars stirred up for you personally. It is customized for everyone and no one is exempt. I usually encourage folks who are highly driven and have a need to move and accomplish on a regular basis to learn Mars's rhythm in your own life. If you give yourself permission to honor your desires as well as the fact that they change and evolve as you do, then you are living a more authentic life automatically. Now's the time to define the terms of what you deeply desire, what you are willing to do to acquire that, and what it will take to maintain it. So here I've included Mars reminders because there's so much to this extended trip through Aries for Mars, for all of us, and it ain't even over yet. Okay, the shadow period goes to the rest of the year. It's a great idea to review the materials I've shared over this time for reminders on what the energies have stirred up so you can consciously co-create going forward. So in August, I posted a 16-minute audio and a blog post of Mars retrograde in Aries, which probably has at least one of those paragraphs, and then a whole post. And then in September, I posted a Mars retrograde special update that was 34 minutes, and that has an audio, video, and a blog post. And that's for the 13th. On Saturday the 14th, we have the Sun activating Jupiter and Pluto, who are still so close together. Everything's happening in the same day, so this is powerful too. This is a healthy, positive, transformative energy. You will have access to energy that will help you change your current circumstance for the better and or clear up an issue that has been challenging you for a while now. Deep breath, we could all use a round of that. It's great for purifying, cleaning, and clearing your personal space as well as organizing your life in general. You may have to examine the big picture to see where an adjustment for the good of all involved is really necessary. If you're not feeling up to working on outer issues, this also gives you the opportunity to do some introspective thinking and deep self-reflection. Okay, when we're working with Pluto, we're going to the soul level. Sun is illuminating something, giving you energy. Sextile's an opportunity for ease and grace with our transformation. Superficial once-overs will not do. You must address the root cause for where you find yourself at this time in your life and decide if it is working for you or against you. Deep breath. Same day, it touches Jupiter, and this is sometimes considered lucky, but the success you achieve under this influence is usually due to a positive outlook and clear vision of who you are and what you want. So that's the whole purpose behind a Mars retrograde, is to recalibrate that, your sacred masculine and how you do things in the world and how you express that part of yourself and who you are and what you want. It evolves, right? So your life is expanding, your self-understanding is deepening, and it will be easier to be around other people of higher consciousness, improving things and creating opportunities that benefit a larger number of people. There's a healthy dose of optimism around some grand plan, and things are moving. But make sure to do the foundation work to support this larger vision as it manifests in reality. If you are a teacher, guide, or leader of any sort, this energy supports your group efforts. So giving workshops, seminars, or new classes is totally supported and will benefit you while serving others. So yes, I do have a bunch of new classes bubbling. I haven't forgotten about my Astro 101 thing. What's happening is Scorpio time it's time to turn within, y'all. I love you. And bits and pieces are coming to me, and that is shaping up, and it's not off the radar yet. But I do have to commune with the ancestors this month. It's my high holy days. It's when I take a lot of time out for that, to be under the sky and to ask the questions about the last year and the next year. And in this case, like I've already mentioned before, it's not just a year, it's the last decade and the next decade. And I, like the rest of you, are doing the best I can with what I have. There is no perfection, but this is a magical, magical time. So do not buy into the death and destruction, because that is actually the past. Our present and future has a lot more life and vitality that needs to be supported in this moment. And the adjustments and the sacrifices, if we want to call it that, the offering that we want to make to ensure that has to happen now. And that's the part that gets people. Scorpio's the invisible. It's the void where conception happens. We just need to hold the intention. So there's a huge worldwide network of light and light beings, and many, many, many other people, energies, and entities want to see us succeed and want to see human life triumph over this kind of death-oriented system. We need to just keep our boundaries and keep our grounding. Stay connected to Mother Earth. She will always take care of you. And before I go off on another rant, making this way longer than it needed to be, when I know there's other extra goodies for you to get to, I am going to stop right there so that I can share the Rumi poem with you and let you go. This is from the Essential Rumi, translated by Coleman Barks and John Moyne, chapter 12, page 132. For my numbers people. The Sheik. I have such a teacher. On the Sheik, the existence of the beloved is not provable, nor is it fantasy. The friend, as Rumi usually calls this presence within and infinitely beyond the senses, is elusive and nearer than the big vein in your neck. You need a mirror to see it. The Sheik is a mirror, a reminder of that presence, and a cook. The understanding that comes through a Sheik gives nourishment and transforming energy to many. Rumi's image of a disciple is chickpea that sprouts and enjoys the rainy garden of sexual pleasure. It matures and grows into its hardened form, then gets picked and thrown into the cooking pot. The cook's tending is careful and constant, and in Rumi's case, garrulous. Gradually, the disciple softens and takes on flavors that the cook adds. Eventually, he or she becomes tasty enough to be appealing to those who, in the Sufi tradition, are called the true human beings. So the chickpea moves from the garden to the cooking pot, to a taste for the cook, finally to become subtenant for a mysterious community. Chickpea to the cook. A chickpea leaps almost over the rim of a pot where it is being boiled. Why are you doing this to me? The cook knocks him down with the ladle. Don't you try and jump out. You think I'm torturing you, but I'm giving you flavor so you can mix with spices and rice and become the lovely vitality of a human being. Remember when you drank rain in the garden? That was for this. Grace first, sexual pleasure, then a boiling new life begins, and the friend has something good to eat. Eventually, the chickpea will say to the cook, boil me some more. Hit me with the skimming spoon. I can't do this by myself. I'm like the elephant that dreams of gardens back in Hindustan and doesn't pay attention to his driver. You're my cook, my driver, my way into existence. I love your cooking. The cook says, I was once like you, fresh from the ground. Then I boiled in time and boiled in the body. 2 fierce boilings. My animal soul grew powerful. I controlled it with practices and boiled some more, and then boiled once beyond that and became your teacher. That is Pluto, our purifier, our teacher, our way into existence, into authentic existence. And the process is usually pretty painful and stressful and chaotic and uncomfortable. But we're being boiled in that beautiful cauldron, adding spice and vitality to who we are, and that's all part of the process. So, as I've said, Pluto works on us all the time, but sometimes it's a little more intense than others. And sometimes it depends on where it falls in your personal world, on your timetable, which is very individual. But this is a huge undertaking and a huge process. And I don't want you to underestimate the value of the process itself. This is all necessary. You should be paying attention all along the way as best you can as humans in the flesh in 3D. It's challenging to release control and get the ego in check so that you can hear spirit. But that's part of Pluto's process of what feels like abuse and getting you totally focused and clear about who is in charge, higher will or lower will. Pluto strips you of all the non-essential and is vitally important that we get clear about what Pluto's job is. We don't see it as the torture it feels like to our human selves. It's really a transformative process and completely natural and something all life goes through. The life process is part of it. And so we're all feeling like we've been in the cauldron for the whole year of 2020, right? What have we been cooking up? Has it been beauty and strength and flavorful and spicy and uniquely yours? Or have you been completely distracted with chaos and dismantling of the old systems? Or struggling to take care of others that need more help than you do, so you have it to share and to spare? It's been a wild year where we've had opportunities to do it all, to see the beauty of life and to see the resilience of people and the love between people. And it's been just as shocking to see all the tragedy and trauma and madness. And so remember that's part of being here. It's more intense right now because there are larger cycles converging. I mean, big earthly cycles, 26,000 year, the Aquarian age, the Mayan calendar, that's 2,500. You know, there's a lot of big cycles that are all rebooting right now. So anything we can do to co-create with the little ones like Mars and Venus, our masculine, feminine, that keeps us in alignment too and helps us be better responders, which is essentially what we are. We're receivers and responders. And we have to work on those systems to make sure they're operating properly, but they are undergoing an upgrade. And like I've had to tell a lot of people, me, myself included, is that when you're upgrading a system, there's a timeout. You can't do the regular operations because they're down. Some are being deleted. Some are being cleared out. And then think of the old school when we used to have to do a defrag on the computer. What that does is tightens up all the empty spaces that are actually blocking and delaying our effectiveness in life. So that's what 2020 felt like to me anyway. It felt like we squeezed out all the non-essential and got real clear and tight on what resources we do have and where all the power is. And now whatever's left is what we've got to work with. So hopefully you're doing okay. And if not, of course, reach out. But like I said, I'm going to be a little bit more in nature than on the computer. But the things that I've already committed to, I will absolutely honor those commitments. And the other thing I guess I could put on here at this moment is I am picking up a couple of free calls that I would like to have because they're important topics that we need to discuss. So I'm going to throw this out here now just to validate the idea, as it were. Who wants to get together? And just feel free to email me, Kelly@karmictools.com. Here we go. The Mars retrograde in Aries, I never did do a call on it. I wanted to do before, during, now it's after. We could still do it because, like I said, it's still going to be in Aries till January. I might be able to squeeze it in before the end of the year. Chiron in Aries is going to be there for a while, so we can work with that. But that's another special one I want to talk about because we do have several years to work on that. And anyone with Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn is being affected directly by that. And anyone 48 to 52 is having their Chiron return, and that's a very big deal that we have to go through as individuals, but you don't have to go through alone. We have a community of support for that. So if anyone's interested in learning more about the Chiron cycle, I would do a free call for that. And then, of course, the Gemini Sag Eclipses. We gotta talk about those because they are coming in by the end of November. So I'm talking to you at the beginning of November. It's November 5th right now. Our full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini is November 30th. So again, I'm happy to work it in if there is interest. So let me know. Mars, Chiron, or the eclipses we can try to do before the end of the year because they're all very significant for the end of the year. And at the same time, I have a lot of behind the scenes work to do. So I can set up the new year when I want to have a free call every month, kind of regularly for the whole 12 months. So many of you who have been with me a long time know that I used to do that a long time ago. And it's just, there's so much to talk about these days that we might as well just set up a monthly meeting for those of you who want to join. And money's not a factor. It's something that I want to offer the community. All right, everyone, let's wrap this up. Again, my apologies for the extension, but very powerful activations. I didn't want you to not have all the little tidbits of support that are possible for you because I never know what's going to land or how it's going to land, but I know that I'm reaching you because I do get those emails where people respond and let me know how the planets are transforming you at this moment, how you're co-creating with the energies. I love to hear about your success stories, of course, but I love to hear about your journey as you discover your own powers and rhythms and patterns and things to co-create with and make your way in the world. And I'm happy to be here to support and guide along the way. And you all always teach me something as well. It is a very reciprocal journey we got cooking over here in the community. And for that, I am deeply grateful. So thank you for being part of that. Thank you for listening. This is Callie Beard of KarmicTools.com signing off. Have a fantastic week.